Hi, let us have a quick understanding on software build. In any project, the code after development, it needs to be released for testing or to the customer for their usage. And it involves a predefined process, how the code needs to be delivered, as well as how the code needs to be made as an application and where the code would get stored. Let's have a quick understanding. Software build is nothing but creating a version of a software with a build number. So I'm going to identify the software saying this is the release. So whenever we are getting a software, we will be getting a version number. So that will be linked to the build, and the application will be developed for testing or for release. Build can have a predecessor steps like check out from the code repository, do the quality check on the code, compile the code, bring in all the dependencies, as well as it can have a successor steps like doing automated testing on the developed or the built software. And there are n number of sample build tools like Maven, Ivy, SBT, and Gradle. Out of this, Maven is predominantly used in the Java projects as well as many other projects like Scala and mobile applications. Let us have quick understanding on Maven tool. It's a very simple build tool and it makes the process of build, distribution, documentation, collaboration much easier within the organization. The collaboration is seamless with n number of vital tasks like build, documentation, and it facilitates continuous delivery. Let us understand how the build happens in a very high level. While doing the development, I may be having the code as a part of a repository. Say that we call it as a code repository. It could be as a part of SVN or a Git repository. And I'll be having a POM file which is called a project object model, which looks very similar to this. So I'll be providing the details like what is the name of the project, what is the version that I wanted to use, and what are all the dependencies, the properties that I want to pass to that particular project, what is the version of the dependency that I wanted to use, all the details I will be providing. And also I will provide the details like after doing the build where the developed or the built software needs to be stored, that is the output directory. We can make the test to get executed automatically and the output to get stored in a specific location. And Maven is a very powerful tool. We can bring in n number of tasks, we can make them to work together and put in the dependencies and facilitate for continuous delivery. So once if I define the POM file, the Java project or any project that I have that may have a number of dependencies to get that compiled. So what Maven does, based on the POM file that I have provided, it will check the local repository as a part of the project, whether the library is available or not. If it is not available, I may have a centralized repository which is the standard for the organization or for that specific project. From there, it will be picking the repository. Even if it is not there available, it can download the repository from a remote location depending on the project version that I wanted to use, as well as all the dependent trees it will calculate and it would download. So I don't need to worry about what are all the dependent libraries, what version I wanted to download. I don't need to worry. Automatically Maven would be taking care of it. So it will be downloading the repository and bring it to the centralized repository or to the local repository, use it, compile it, and it is going to deliver the compiled code that I will be using it for automated testing or for delivery to the client. And in the continuous integration process, Maven plays a significant role.